Hey guys, we're your average schlubs.
Average Schlubs.
Dean's back, so this is gonna be a popular review, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Cool man's here.
So today we're gonna be doing a review of Tomorrowland, which is the new Brad Bird movie that just came out. So I guess a brief little synopsis of it. It's about a girl who finds a girl played by Britt Robertson who finds a pen that transports her to a futuristic place.
Magical new land
of
opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's really probably all
and
we should
innovation.
give away for the main plot, I guess, because there's a lot of mystery behind it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are our overall thoughts on it, John?
Am I starting?
Yeah.
Okay. I liked the movie a lot. It was very visually stunning. It had some holes and stuff, and it had a typical kind of Disney feel, which I'm not saying is necessarily bad, but...
Which it was a Disney movie.
Yeah. Well, that's why
Yeah.
it had that Disney feel. Yeah, I just meant it was kind of archetypal to the Disney type of movie. But I really liked it overall. I thought it was really good, and I enjoyed the film.
Yes.
Good film.
Dean?
I liked it too. I think it definitely, like you said, it had an archetype feel of Disney movies. When we got done, I asked these guys. He hasn't seen Meet the Robinsons, but it reminded me a lot of Meet the Robinsons, sort of this futuristic, hopeful, optimistic idea that sort of follows along these Walt Disney values and very Walt Disney inspired. So I liked the spirit of the movie a lot.
I was really excited when I saw the trailer for this movie because, I don't know, it was just very intriguing and really had a lot of visually stunning qualities and stuff, but I think that they might have wrote themselves into a corner a tad because the ending was a little bit abrupt, but overall the message is really rock solid and I really like it, and it's still a very fun movie, and it has a lot of optimism and I don't know, charisma. It's really fun.
I was so unbelievably excited for Tomorrowland, just ridiculously excited for it. Yeah. Brad Bird's probably one of my 3 or 4 favorite directors working today. He's made Ratatouille, Incredibles, Iron Giant, and Mission Impossible 4. So he's just I love him, and I think this is my least favorite of his movies. But I loved it. I really, 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 really loved this movie a lot. I think we're all in the minority in general. Well, I don't know about the minority, but it's pretty split.
Yeah, because it hasn't gotten that great of reviews.
Seems like people are kind of liking it or so. But I like you were saying about the optimism and the hope.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it was pretty incredible that in today's blockbuster landscape. Most movies are Mad Max, where they're have a bleak vision of the future. So it was really nice to get a really hopeful view for once. I just loved the fact that it wore its heart on its sleeve, and it was just really it was so fun and happy for most of it. I loved it. It really made me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to point something out when we were in the car, and we've been saving this conversation since we just saw it an hour ago, but what I really liked the most about the movie was when we think of hopes of the future in past eras, we mostly look to the 60s. And that's where that flashback took us, was into 63 or something, and that was sort of right after Kennedy launched the moon mission plan and everything. That was sort of the technological advance that let's step into the future, let's have giant leaps for mankind, and they were creating a parallel between now we can start that again, the same motivation that we had in the 60s. That's what I really like, because even me for myself, anytime I see something that has to do with the 60s, it definitely has a very hopeful and optimistic, futuristic vibe. That there was tons of innovation, there was tons of influence and inspiration, and it was allowing itself to recreate that within our modern time. I thought that was really cool.
It was really Interstellar-ish. I thought with its theme of if we rely on. I like how a lot of movies now are so progressive about science. Like this Interstellar, Big Hero 6, like it's kind of
we need that.
Yeah, it's like in modern
really need that.
mainstream filmmaking, it's kind of becoming like cool again to be a smart character. Like it's cool to like science and that kind of thing. And I think it's great that the movies are starting to reflect, I think, maybe what humanity is like looking for in the real world.
Buzz Aldrin's dream might be realized.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because I don't know, like we do just need a lot more dreamers, and that's what this movie's all about, is dreamers. We need more creative people willing to just take the chance and just go after what they believe in and dream in.
I really like that message, because you kind of, I don't know, at least I feel it somewhat today in today's like society. Sometimes people are kind of like set in their ways, and this promotes the expansion and kind of Neil deGrasse Tyson's thing where he's always expanding. Like, we need expansion. We need people that want to go do new things, more things.
They had that whole sequence in the high school where every teacher in every topic is saying about how we're doomed.
We're done.
Like, well, what can we do to fix it? And they didn't have answers. Because like we don't focus on that. We just focus on the doom and gloom.
Yeah, I kind of like the realism that was behind the story.
Yeah. So what do we think of the Brad Bird's directing?
I don't know what to say.
I thought it was really good, other than the story, how it ended so abruptly. But
I think the timeline
that's not
of
necessarily
the plot,
directing either.
The timeline of the plot was definitely off. I think the focus and movement of sort of the rising action was much later in the movie, which made the ending feel extremely rushed.
Yeah, you said that the like plot point that fixes the plot is introduced too late.
Because it was building up, which is good. You know, it's like you look at all the movies that are very technologically advanced and very futuristic. Most of them just kind of jump right into it, which tends to be a good thing because you're able to just kind of get used to, like, this is how it is going to be in this movie. Like, with Star Wars or Interstellar or Star Trek, there's no introduction into it, so there's no surprise, but they were allowing for the audience to experience what the
main
character was experiencing. Was like, this is all completely new. And they spent a lot of time on that and a lot of build up and kind of explaining it. Which was fine, but I feel like the grander scale of like the climax and rising action, falling action was they didn't give enough time for it to actually make it like a good set of the plot, you know.
Yeah, the climax happened a little too quick.
Late.
Yep, very late.
I wish you'd have seen more of Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
We didn't see much of it because you saw.
Do you feel like there would be a sequel?
It's Disney, so it's very possible.
I really hope there is one.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I think Brad Bird's like, he makes movies that you really want sequels for. He's really good at that. But I guess it would probably depend on how it does.
I would hope for a sequel just because everything in the movie felt so late in the movie that I would hope that they try and continue the story and maybe explain
the overall plot.
Maybe explain a few of the holes in the storyline.
Yeah, I do wish you got to see more of Tomorrowland though, like you said, because Tomorrowland was so visually stunning and appealing, and you like got glimpses of it, and then they took it away from you, and then you're back in what you see every day, kind of. And Tomorrowland looked so cool and everything.
It's hard for a movie now because we're so used to like a lot of every movie has good special effects now, so it's hard to kind of be blown away. But I thought this movie, like, I caught myself smiling, and I don't do that too often in movies
when
anymore.
You first like saw everything with Tomorrowland, I was baffled.
Yeah, I was really happy. It made me feel so good.
This movie really has, I don't know about you guys, but I used to go to Disney World a lot, but this movie really has the charm that Disney like hope to capture when you go to his amusement park, and when you actually go into Tomorrowland, has a real feel like that. So I was really excited about that, but it still had a lot of that old world kind of stuff mixed with the technology, which just really kind of makes it happy. And like and it comes back to the innovation part, because those people were all dreamers too, and I guess, like, yeah, it just kind of brings back to the message that we need more people like that. We don't have many people that are willing to take the steps. We need more Edisons and more Teslas and more rocket
Jules
ships
Verne's.
from
Yeah.
Paris Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the speech towards the end, that it's really preachy and that it just like really it feels like it needs to give you this is the movie's message, in case you didn't pick it up already. Did you guys feel that way?
Like the very, very end message, like what George Clooney was telling them.
George Clooney's, and then also the bad guys.
Oh, okay.
Like what he was saying about this is what's wrong with the world and blah blah. Like
I didn't feel like it was too preachy, but it did have kind of that kind of vibe to it, I guess. But I didn't really have a problem with it.
Yeah. I kind of liked it a little bit. Like, I don't know, like, some people, I could see people seeing it as maybe, like, cheesy or, like, they would say, like, poor dialogue. But I really like it. I think it just brings more to, I don't know, it's very Disney-like with, like, the charm and, I don't know, I'm just really talking myself into a hole here. But, yeah, I don't know, I like the feel of it, the way it was written. Like, I don't mind the cheesiness or the, like, less complex ideas and stuff. Sometimes it's kind of fun to have someone just say it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Instead of always having to think all the time, the whole time. But I liked it.
There was a particular scene where the main character goes into a shop and there is clearly, more than anything else, a bunch of Star Wars paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Which gave me the impression, since Tomorrowland is based off of the theme park in Disney World, Disneyland, that maybe there's going to be more Star Wars incorporation in the park other than
And
Star
Disney's just trying
Tours.
to promote it.
And they're certain to promote it and put it like a part of the franchise. And then you threw out the idea that maybe Brad Bird
Yeah.
could direct new Star Wars. I disagree. Would you like to give your
Rebuttal.
thoughts?
Yeah. So I think Brad Bird would be. I think he actually turned. I could be completely wrong, but I think he actually was the first person that they offered Episode 7 to, and then he turned it down. But I think he'd be perfect because he's, I think, one of the few like storytellers we have that is truly capable of infusing just this like amazing sense of wonder about the world, and he has a great handle on action. I thought the action was really well directed in this movie, and then Mission Impossible 4, like he can create really exhilarating sequences.
Yeah.
He makes movies with a ton of heart. Every bit of Iron Giant is just like brimming with heart, and I think that's what you need. You need Star Wars to have a combination of wonder, of heart, of a love for its characters, and a good handle on action sequences. And I think he's one of the few directors that can combine everything together just really, really well.
He has an interesting track record too. Like, I mean, I think among all of the movies he's made, Mission Impossible 4 is definitely like the most sort of out there and definitely the most action packed and actual like live action.
Yeah, it was his first live action one.
I thought Mission Impossible 4 was really good.
Yeah.
I loved
It's
4.
been quite a few years since I have seen it. I just feel like, I don't know. I liked Ratatouille and The Incredibles and Iron Giant. I mean, I think the last time I saw Iron Giant was like 15 years ago, but I don't know. I don't think that it would be a right fit. I'm really looking forward to J.J. Abrams' style of directing for this one. I think Star Wars, while it has like this sort of wonder and awness, and themes of hope and everything, the style of the movies that I felt really made it good in the 70s and 80s was that it was kind of very rugged and badass, but also sort of, it was fun to watch and hopeful. And I feel like there just isn't enough ruggedness in his style. But maybe if I watch Maybe if I watched
What about
Mission Impossible 4 again, I would probably.
And what about like a
I'd probably
spin-off?
change my mind.
'Cause, you know, they could go so many different directions. Maybe a spin-off doesn't need that rugged quality because it's about a different story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think you could do a very good job.
The only
I'm not
thing
saying
that's-
it guaranteed
The
would
only
be,
thing
but I
that
think you
I'm
had a
thinking
chance to
about
make it
right
very good.
now is like George Clooney in a lightsaber fight. How
Alright.
strange that would be.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah,
It would not be normal.
that would be kind of interesting. But
George Clooney and a lightsaber.
I'm
Yeah.
not contributing much because I am not that huge of a fan. No, well, not saying I'm not a fan of Star Wars, but I just don't know as much, so I don't think I can
So
contribute.
you're
So I'm
about to
just
get
sitting
our
here.
9 followers.
You guys
very
just-
upset.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, I love Star
You're
Wars.
about
that
to dig
part
yourself
out.
into a hole.
Yeah, I love Star Wars, but I don't know as much as you guys do, so I don't think my opinions are entirely
Valid.
valid here. I think anyone could do good as long as it's fun and
As long
has
as it's
lightsabers.
Lightsabers.
see, that's why I look forward to the sequel of Star Wars. Is Ryan
And Johnson.
Johnson, the director of Looper,
Right.
is directing the sequel, and that movie was just like, you know, that movie was just cool.
Looper was awesome.
You know,
But
like,
we're going on quite a bit of a tangent
Yeah.
here.
but that's just, you know, that's what I'm looking for in the
Right.
Star Wars movies. So that's like, I don't know if
Not
I
about
can
the movie we're
feel
talking
that
about.
for Brad
Red
Bird.
Bird.
Alright.
I could
All
be wrong.
right. So final thoughts on Tomorrowland? Dean.
Good movie, worth seeing. Definitely a highlight of Disney movies. I'd probably give it a B plus.
Solid. It was a very exciting movie, had a lot of charm, and that feeling that you get when you're on a Disney ride in the parks. But it did feel rushed towards the end, and I think it could have been a little more well written. But maybe if it was longer, it could have been nicer and you could see more Tomorrowland. But overall, again, message is really, really nice change of pace, and it's just a really fun movie. So I would probably give it a B.
I don't think it was quite everything I set my expectations way too high. I was so excited for it, but I really loved it. It was an A+ movie for me for like the first half, but then I think like you guys talked about it, really the pacing was off for the second half, and it just the lack of Tomorrowland, I think, hurt it for me. But I thought it was really charming. Visually, I think it might be Brad Bird's. Oh no! It was up there. It was very good. Yeah, it was very well directed. I thought Britt Robertson was. This is the first movie I think I've seen her in. I liked her a lot. I thought she was really great. It was kind of cool to see George Clooney play like a more angry, rugged guy instead of such like a charming George Clooney man.
Oh hell!
Oh hell!
So much movie.
And I like that little girl a lot. I don't know her name, but I thought she was really good.
Yeah, I thought she was too.
Yeah.
I really liked her.
There's a very different love connection here, too.
Yeah, it was.
They both did a very good job of like pulling it off.
It could have been very creepy. I don't
it
think
could have been very
was.
creepy, but
could
it
have
wasn't.
been
It was
very
pulled it off.
completely touching.
Yeah, it was very touching.
I'm
That
glad
was
we
a
talked
sweet
about this.
moment. Yeah.
Alright.
I give it an A-.
Alright. I really liked the movie. It really made you like very happy, very optimistic about things, even if you're not like a very optimistic person. It was very visually stunning, and I think it lived up to my expectations. They weren't as high as Austin's, obviously, but it definitely had some like flaws in it. But I've come to expect that a lot of times with a lot of Disney movies, is they're that not perfect, but no movie is either. But I liked it a lot. I think it was really good, and I'd probably give it an A- as well.
Ooh. Cool.
That's the end of our Tomorrowland review, I guess.
Yeah.
Go see Tomorrowland.
We're gonna-
go see it.
Good
Our
film.
Mad Max one's coming up soon now.
Yeah.
All right, Schlub it up.
Schlubs.